Valley Club, there is a new promo this week. The negative zone is still here, 4 new nodes, and this time the awaken ability for Quasar is on online. And did we just get some clues for the Hellfire Club? We got all these topics and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Joining me all the way from the Helicarrier is my brother from another mother, MobileGamer. If you're ready for all these topics, Mobile, let them know what to do.
Let's go smash it!
Hey, and welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I'm ValleyFlyin. This is my brother MobileGamer, aka Mobileboomer, and this is your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every single week, keep you updated on everything that has happened and is upcoming in Marvel Strike Force. And if you get some value from this video, leave it a like, hit the subscribe button for even more Marvel Strike Force content, ring that notification bell so you know as soon as a new video goes up. But it has been a while since we've discussed Marvel Strike Force, brother Mobile. How are you liking the game? How did you like the danger room? How you like the direction of the game right now? What is your overall impression of Marvel Strike Force?
I like the idea of Danger Room. I feel like we didn't have an authentic Danger Room experience because there was a way of cheesing it. I think building up those tokens, the gold tokens over time to finally beat 10 is a very different experience than what we had right now.
All right. Well, I am not sure about the cheese. We'll get to that when we talk about this. But first thing I do want to talk about, new promo code. This was from earlier this week, and this was from a trivia challenge all about Hellfire on Discord. Were you on Discord when they were doing that trivia challenge?
I was not.
It was pretty fun. They were asking like 12 questions about Hellfire, his history and things like that. And it was pretty fun to see all the answers there. But this is the Brute promo code of the week. 20,000 Intel credits, 200 power cores, and this will expire. I believe that is on the 9th of this month. So a few more days to get that. Make sure you claim that. All right, let's go to a tease. I'm not sure when this is from, but I guess this was on Instagram. And I guess a lot of people are thinking this is leading all into the Hellfire Club because it's not there anymore. It got removed. But luckily, my brother Rogan sent this to me. So I want you to watch this. Let's rewind this to the beginning. Let's watch this and see if you see any teases for the Hellfire Club that you see. The Gambit, there's Rogue, Cable, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Beast, Jubilee. Oh, Jubilee. And then we see the X-Men. They go into a fight. Who do they fight? Mr. Sinister. So I don't know if you saw this previously, if you heard about this. I haven't seen this previously.
I just saw this for the first time just a second ago. Yeah, I just heard about it. This is the first time I've seen it right now. Mr. Sinister, okay.
Mr. Sinister. We also have Madeline Pryor. Madeline, I think, has some relation to the Hellfire Club, maybe Mr. Sinister as well. And then last but not least, one more character that we see, Archangel. There he is.
Okay.
All right, so we got a bunch of X-Men fighting some X-Men bad guys. I think a lot of community said, hey, Hellfire Club. We did vote on members of the Hellfire Club, so we do know that they're coming at some time to Marvel Strike Force.
Right.
All right, you just saw this for the first time. Is this the Hellfire Club tease? Or is this just a promotion of mutant characters?
I mean, we saw the recent promo for Thunderbolts. It has nothing to do with the Thunderbolts team in game. You know, it loosely lines up with the movie, but they're running around with, you know, Yelena, Red Guardian, and Winter Soldier. So the thing is that OG Emma, I think in her description, you know how when you click on her character and you go and it says about blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I think it actually mentions Hellfire Club in her description. I could be wrong, but I think it does. I think
let's go look at it. While you're talking, let me go find her and see.
Okay.
Check for ourselves.
The two things I'm going to say about, and I think they can do whatever they want. And they typically will build things for gameplay reasons. And, you know, they have somewhat of a disregard for lore and logic when it comes to building teams. Would you agree?
Yeah, they do things on their own.
They just do whatever they want.
They do it specifically to not follow the comics sometimes and not follow the MCU. They kind of want their own thing. Sometimes they follow it, but sometimes they want their own take on it, kind of like what they did with Phoenix Force and things like that.
Yeah, I will say this, that specifically OG Emin and Mr. Minister. I will say this.
Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister. I know what you want. I know what you want to say.
I'll say this. OG Emma and Mr. Sinister have, in some ways, by their definitions from conversations that we've had with the combat team, problematic kits. Here they go. The Hellfire Club's White Queen right there. So I believe, yeah, there's some problems that apply minus 10% speed to all enemies. Like they regret putting that in her kit and that in the game because future teams have to be tuned around adding Emma into the team. And I just don't see them reworking her in her current form. I wouldn't be surprised if they made like a White Queen or if they said, hey, we'll rework her, but we're going to get rid of this, apply minus 10% speed to all enemies. And Mr. Sinister also has some problems in his kit. If they redo Mr. Sinister, they're going to get rid of the cloning thing because that was a problem for a long time as well.
All right. So I was wondering the main reason why they took this down, because I've had other information on this and I don't think anybody would be jumping to conclusions with this if they just left it up. But I'm wondering why they took this down. Why do you think they took this down? Do you think this went up too early? This is supposed to be maybe a Hellfire Club tease, or I don't know. I can't think of a reason why they would take this down if it didn't go up at unless it didn't go up at the correct time, you know.
Okay, and I can only speak for what other games do. I don't know what Scopely Marvel Strike Force does, but they put out an advertisement and they are tracking the effectiveness of the video and their A/B testing videos. So they're trying to get the cost per install as low as possible. It could be that video right there was not good by their standards and it did not generate enough clicks. We do not know what the intent was, why they even put the ad out, and whether or not it was successful. But it could have simply just been an A/B test and it didn't test well and they pulled it.
Could be simple like that, but I think it's more fun to get more speculation. But I don't know. It could be nothing. It could be something with the Hellfire Club. Let me know in the comments what you think this teaser trailer means as we jump forward to the big event that is happening this week. And unfortunately, some players can't participate in this because it's pretty challenging. The negative zone Harbinger. This is the big rewards here. It's not just this teal gear, because I had some people on stream saying, hey, why are you doing the negative zone again? The Odin Milestones are done. I don't need the teal gear. Well, you get Quasar's Awakened ability. You get 100 on the first run and then another 100 on the second run. So pretty much getting that unlocked. We do have a long time for this. We have 18 more days for this, and you only need to beat it 2 times. What do you think of the difficulty considering that we have 20 days to do it?
All right, so clearly, well, first of all, the first 8 nodes have the raid abilities turned on, so you can go in there with vigilantes and it's great. But then when you drop into node
hold on,
9,
let me stick on that. Did it say that anywhere unless you went?
No.
I know when you go into the game and click on pause, it says that.
Yes.
I was wondering if I missed anything. That's the only place that it says that?
No. And we've complained about this. Dossier has complained about this numerous times to developers. Yeah, we should be able to see it right here. Like right where we are right now, you should be able to log in and see raid rules enabled. Cosmic Crucible rated, but when you load into, so the problem is that you've been playing the first 8 nodes with vigilantes and then you spawn in with all kinds of ability energy and they get ability energy flying around and then you don't manage cooldowns because it never mattered. Then you load into node 9, like, where's my Sable ultimate? Oh, it's not raid rules. Like there's no
very different experience without that ultimate available, right?
So
that ultimate is huge.
So what is turned on is Cosmic Crucible rules. So this is 1000% tuned for whatever the Accursed. Yeah. So you only have to beat it twice. You can it gets refreshed every day, so you can kind of take your time and get through it when you get through it. And if you can get through it twice without spending a ton on power cores, which I don't think is a great thing to do. It kind of feels like a Dark Dimension experience where you just make a little bit of progress every day, and that's fine. When the full Accursed team is live, you should be able to run over it very quickly, and then you're going to talk about it. The next nodes after this will have the arena tag turned on, so obviously we're getting arena team.
I thought it was war, but people on chat were saying the data mines are saying it's arena. So it's like they can't. My thought was, and war was the first one that came to my head. Arena also makes sense, but we got raid teams. We got the vigilantes.
War, right? So is it
Quasar's
Quasar the war? So we've got we've got this in this section. We've got Quasar War. We're going to have a raid
Crucible,
team.
Accursed, and 2 raid teams. The Vigilantes and the Thunderbolts. So I was just thinking they couldn't do another raid because you could just walk over that with your Vigilantes or your Thunderbolts. They can't do another Cosmic Crucible because then you're Accursed. We should have them by then. Let's just run over that. The next 4 have to be something else, but yeah, Arena makes sense as well.
Yeah, well, and I don't think that there was supposed to be 4 teams. Originally, remember, it was only 3 teams, and then they retroactively added Vigilantes. So if we look at if we take out Vigilante from this equation, then it is a Quasar is War, Arena team to be announced. Then we have currently the Crucible, and then the first one is Raid. So it makes sense, and then they added Vigilante to the Harbinger tag. So that's what I think.
I think you're right. I think I do remember them saying that back in the day. As far as these raid rules, this transition from Node 8 to Node 9, from raid to Cosmic Crucible rules, did that screw you up? I almost just hit it on auto. Chat reminded me though. They're like, stop. You got to start saying your cool. I was like, we don't have that. So they helped me, but I would have just autoed it. Like
completely blindsided, and I was like, oh my God, I may have just locked. You know how you can get into a situation where you're making negative progress and nothing's going on. I was like, what the hell? No disclosure that the raid rules were going to be turned off and there was going to pivot to Crucible rooms. Like, no, nothing. It's poor design. I'm sure they can fix this, but the problem I have with this is that we complained about this. How long? I don't know. There were numerous conversations about this specific issue weeks ago. So like, unless the information didn't make it back to the decision maker to implement this, but there were people talking about this some time ago and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, and look, even in the blog post previous, we go to that. Negatives on Harbinger, new missions. Strikes ongoing assault in negative zone to help repel Annihilus missions, enter new phase. 4 new missions, making this negative of 12. Here's the requirements. Nothing. We recommend deploying the newest characters, equipping characters, top gear, purple ISO 8, so they're strong enough for the enemies you face. That is all that they said.
But
and nothing is really listed in the game either.
It needs to be in game. Like putting it out of game is super easy, right? We just contact Lori. She can change the post. That's fine. But putting it in game is what matters. I mean, because not everybody reads the post, this and that. Fine.
I agree. It should be in game. It should be very clear. You shouldn't have to go into a node. Like, let me go into a node. The only time you see it is actually this node's going to take a while because this is the one that has a bunch of turns in there. But much better experience instead of playing this every day. But yeah, if your cooldowns are screwed up, how long did it take you to get your cooldowns reset back so you could beat the node, or are you still struggling with that because of the cooldown situation?
I'm on the third node now.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So there's 4 total. I'm on 3. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'll get through it when I get through it. I'm not going to core it. I'll tell you that.
No, don't core it. You got 20 days for the whole thing. Yeah.
No,
if you screw up, you still got time to make up.
I'll get through it when I get through it.
Your second run is going to be a lot easier because you know now not to save that cooldowns on the last node.
We have 2 complete teams. I can go in with Thunderbolts. I can go in with Vigilante, and every day I can run in with those 2 teams. I probably can just load in and hit off, see what happens, or I don't know. I don't even know if it matters.
Yeah. Well, as long as you get 2 complete runs within these 20 days, you'll get the Quasar basic, and that's the main thing that you're doing this one for. The other big thing that came back, where is it? It is right here. The Illuminati team up. Get Captain Britain back. He is the next. He's the epic character. Do you think the next team, the next arena team that's been dynamite, will have an epic character in that team?
I hope not. Holy moly!
Me too.
ValleyFlyin, stop giving them ideas. People always say that to me.
Oh, I didn't give a chat. Chat was asking me. I'm like, that's a good question. Let me see what mobile thinks. I don't know. I hope not. I hope that's just for the Undying and the Phoenix Force and nothing else. I hope that was just the experiment with Captain Britain, or they do something like Ares, just give it out for free. But moving on to Captain Britain and got the shards back. I think this is great for players that didn't get Captain Britain unlocked. But let's lead me to the next event. Omega Red Phoenix Force. originally debuted around January or so. So if they hold to their patterns, we should get a return event for Omega Red Phoenix Force sometime in June, sometime in July. When are you predicting Omega Red Phoenix Force? This month or next month, or sometime way later?
All I know is that Zombie Juggernaut took 15 months before he was farmable. 15 months.
I think he had his event come back though. Like
yeah,
before,
his event
like
came
2
back
or 3
about
times
one.
before
Yeah,
that.
I think it was like 3 to 6 months, and then there was another one at a year. 15 months before he was actually farmable.
Yeah, gotcha. So hopefully, what is it? Omega Red Phoenix Force comes back soon. But I think that the Captain Britain event is pretty good, pretty generous. I already have him at 7 stars already. Are you tracking the amount of shards that you're getting for Captain Britain? And what are you hearing from new? Actually, you have a new player account. Are you able to access this?
No.
Okay.
I can only do the first part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sure. I haven't heard a lot of complaints about this, frankly. I just, people are not complaining about this.
No, I think this is just generous, give stuff away. The complaints are negative zone because not everybody's able to do that.
Yeah, negative zone's a kind of a mess. This I haven't heard any complaints about.
All right. Well, there's a lot of complaints about what the negative zone was tied to last week, and that was that. Actually, not just last week, the last 2 weeks. So negative zone, if you are really competitive for the Odin Diamonds, you have to really play this every single day. And some. You have to either spend a lot of power cores or spend some, spend some of the real world money. But there was an issue with the, what is the name? The Accursed team. They were in the Intel store and people were refreshing the store with power cores. They gave all those power cores back,
Well, were they? Hold on. Were they? How many players were doing that? Like if Accursed shows up there, don't you just buy it once? I mean, I'm trying to understand the number of people that said, oh, Accursed is here. This must be a mistake. And they started just mad refreshing. Oh, I'm done with the 50s. I'm going to the 100s. I'm going to the 200s. I'm going to the 400s. I'm going to the 800s. I mean, how many people really were just kept pressing the button? I mean, how often do you personally go past 50s? Like if something shows up, like campaign energy, you'll refresh 50s, right? Do you ever go beyond 50s? As a logical player.
Back in the day, if there was an event that I really was pushing for, I would. There hasn't been anything for a while that I feel I needed to push to the hundreds. But I mean, if going into the hundreds would have got me the unlock for those characters and not just more shards, right, maybe I would have, but I didn't buy any of those Accursed shards because it's like I need this stuff for Gear Tier 20. I don't have at the point. Now I'm finished City, but at the point I didn't have City done. So it's like I need Mystic pieces. So I can't afford to buy. I don't have the intel for it. So not just the power cord. I didn't have the intel for it.
Here's the thing. Who was sitting on a lot of an intel? And this is the truth. It's a non-zero chance that someone was sitting on tons of intel, saw the Accursed, start refreshing the store. Not only do they have a ton of intel, they also were willing to refresh it past the 50s, past the 100s, past the 200s, past the 400s, past the 800s, right? It's a non-zero chance that I could win the lottery today. It's absolutely true. But the reality is, how many people had the intel and the disposition to refresh past 50s or 100s?
And we're on for that half an hour server reset before they took it out because the whole combination. It seems low, but this message, I know a lot of people are like, hey,
It's a non-zero chance for me to win the lottery today.
This is a trust me, bro. And some people were upset about that because how competitive this was. This is the message that Pathfinder put out on the 30th. Commanders, we've seen a concern regarding the Odin leaderboard. We want to first address the amount of players that spend a meaningful amount of power cores was extremely low. Trust him, Mobile. The primary rate of progress in the event by playing the negative zone and earning negative zone fragments, power core scoring the leaderboard is intended to be more of a tiebreaker. With that said, we're going to take the steps to ensure the integrity of the leaderboard will remain. Here's what we're doing. After the event ends, we'll be making adjustments if there are any ties going through the leaderboard, adjusting ranking brackets to add additional players to each bracket. If they're affected by this issue, we want to make it clear that there may be no changes needed after the leaderboard ends, and we will look at the data. So I honestly, I don't think the power cores changed a lot. I spent a lot of power cores in this. I got 10 orbs of each of the new characters, got the unlock, the new Thunderbolt characters, got the unlock for that. And that didn't do much for my ranking, honestly. So, spending 2,000 or 2,000 power cores to refresh the store, I don't know if that did a lot for the rankings. I think
there's some things that are factually wrong in this, right?
All right, tell me. You're probably more knowledgeable about this whole issue.
The primary way to progress in this event was by spending money.
That's true.
Money. That was
negative zone was very little. It was like
negative zone,
2,000 points a day or something like that. It wasn't a lot of points a day.
So the effect of the negative zone was more than power cores in some sense, but there was a player, and I've had a couple players say that they were able to get a 1 diamond Odin to the tune of spending. One person said it was 66,000 cores. Another person said it was 87,000 cores.
I had someone on stream say about 80 something thousand.
Yeah.
As well.
So I don't know, like, how many cores did someone refresh in that 30-minute window because they had a excessive amount of intel? And they had the nerve to just spam the refresh button past the 50s, past the 100s, past the 200s. I don't feel like that's a logical player behavior. Is it possible that people did that? Absolutely. Is it a non-zero chance that somebody did this? For sure. So is it reasonable to give them a trust me bro situation? And here's the reality. They have not done a good job in dealing with the community, and this will piss some people off no matter what, because there's going to be a section of the community, rightfully so, that does not trust anything that they say, and they're not in a position to just give us trust me bros and we'll see what happens, right? People are just not going to do it.
I agree. The messaging is problematic. I forgot about it. I just read that, didn't think of what they said. But yeah, spending power cores or real world money was the real way to progress.
No, I mean, unless you were sitting on, if you got a 3 diamond Odin, you had to have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of power cores. Nobody has
3 diamond. Yeah, that's a lot.
No, maybe 500,000 power cores. Maybe like the main way. The reality is.
Let's talk let's move on to the event itself, because let's move past this messaging. What did you do for Odin? Like, did you do the negative zone every day? Did you spend power cores? Did you spend real world money? Because I spent a lot of power cores. And I spent some real world money that I didn't want to spend for this, but I was like, I spent already. I can't drop down below 5,000 and get nothing for it. So my FOMO took on. So what did you do? I got a 1 diamond. I finished, I don't know, something with a 1 diamond. So what did you do? What did you get? And what did you have to do as far as power cores, negative zone, and real world spending for that? I spent about $90 and got this. The negative zone. I think I missed 1 or 2 runs of the negative zone as well. But I spent a lot of power cores as well, about 20,000 power cores as well.
Okay, so I didn't spend a lot of power cores. I did not do the negative zone every day. I feel like I did some purchases early in the event that I thought were good value. But at the end of the day, when the event was winding down, I couldn't stomach it, and I refused to participate. I could not stomach it, and so you
didn't try to snipe somebody then?
No, I'm not about it. I just can't do it.
See, I was on that sunk cost fallacy. I was like, I already spent money on this. I can't get nothing from it. So the last hour or so, I'm like, I don't want to spend this. This is crap. Yeah, let me spend this last $30 here. So I just didn't want to fall out. So it didn't feel good. Everybody's like, are you excited about getting Odin? I'm like, no, because I didn't grind for it. No. I had to spend some real world money. That's not exciting.
No, and everybody has different value propositions and what they value in. And for me, to spend $20 on a leaderboard event because nobody's spending on it, and my $20 means that my reward triple, that's great. My primary focus right now is getting Professor X. And for me, I would have had to spend a similar amount of money of you to get that 1 diamond, and I would have only gotten 5 more pieces. I went from like 30 to 35, right? It wouldn't have helped me get Professor X faster. And I didn't want it. So I'm not interested in 3 diamonds. I was more interested in the gear tier 20 pieces. So the next day, you know, there were some pieces where I could finish off a character for $60 on those burst scam events. They're really just offers in disguise. I'd rather spend my money there because now I'm 3 characters away from getting Professor X. The leaderboard thing, back in the day, there was one for Dormammu and it was alliance based. I can't do it. I have no interest in being a part of these last minute, last hour, last 2 hours. Everybody's just throwing money at the game. I don't want to spend my money on that. It feels so bad. You spend money on things that you enjoy, and nothing about the design of this event feels good to me. In fact, I was thinking I would pay money to not do this. It feels that bad.
That's kind of why I bought that offer. I'm like, I don't want to do the negative zone. And then I started dropping on the leaderboard. It's like, oh my goodness.
I hate it.
I already spent money. I can't have this money go to waste. So I can't. It was not a good feeling. But I have a certain amount that I spend in this game on a monthly basis. On a monthly basis, I spend a certain amount of money. I'm done. I'm done for the whole month of June because of this event. So yeah, I'm not getting the curse team because of it. But I think for Arena, this is going to help. So hopefully that makes up the difference. But if they do this again, I'm not gonna spend on this. I'm just gonna try to grind and see, and then I don't want to do that again. It's not exciting. All right, but speaking of the Professor X unlock, it looks like we have about 1,500 is what I'm told on chat this morning. And where are you? You said about 3 characters away. So cosmic section.
Yeah, I got about 3 characters away, and so I think I'm gonna be fine. I got to make some decisions. At some point, you got to decide, you know, what characters you want to take in. You know, last minute, I was like, do I do Captain America Sam Wilson or do I do Jean Grey? You know, am I going to do Groot instead of Kahori, or should I think about swapping out Howard the Duck? So I'm making some adjustments, but I'm down to 3 characters. Need 3 more characters.
Nice. And are you basing it on what they're going to do after the Professor X saga, or more the gear that you have, or just making sure that they clear the Professor X saga with like minimal investment for the actual saga and investing more into war and stuff for later?
Yeah, under no circumstances am I getting creative with team compositions on trying something that nobody has said worked.
Because it's not like Dark Dimension. It's not like Dark Dimension where you could chip away at it. It's either good or bad.
You need to have somebody said, I use this exact team and I got through it fine, or I use this exact team and I struggled, blah, blah, blah. Don't get creative on this. Make sure that you're the team comp. No, you can't, because it won't work. So I had a loose plan, but the way that my gear has come to me hasn't worked out exactly the way that I wanted it to do, the way that there were certain promotions, things like that. So it hasn't lined up, you know, the way that I initially planned. And so I'm having to pivot. The example of pivoting away from Captain America Sam Wilson to do Jean Grey is exactly that. It just has to do with where the gear lines up.
The gear. So you had more mutant than the skill gear, so you shifted to Jean. Gotcha. Okay. And I guess that's kind of the plan, right? Find out what works, be malleable with your choices based on the gear that you get, because opening those orbs and what pops from your store is going to be different for everybody. So you might have some different choices there. As far as opening up the gear tier 20, usually they do that for when, you know, enough people have the unlock of that big character, right? So Mephisto or Odin, in this case, Professor X. We're at about 1,500 or so, give or take a few. What number do you think that's going to be before they start opening up gear tier 20?
I don't think it's a number.
3,000?
No, I think it's the end of the event. Yeah, the end of the event. So the event is running for the red stars, right? And there's a certain amount of time left on the event. I think it's like 10 days left. Yeah, it's like, I think it's 10 days.
8 days. Oh, yeah, we're losing days.
8 days. So my guess is that, you know, right now, so there's different buckets of spenders, right? There's people that want to get him day one. I'm trying to get him before this 8 day ends because I want the 7 red. So I am a different bucket. And so right now the pricing is going to remain the same and the availability is going to remain the same until I'm done. And then they'll open it up. Like, so people are talking like free to play. When are we going to have better access to gear tier 20? Not before then. That is going to be, it's not happening before that 8 days, I promise you.
I agree with that. I don't think it's going to happen right after that either, because as soon as that Odin event was over, we didn't get a lot of purple ISO 8 for about a month. So maybe a month after this is when they start opening it up. I don't know, because the Odin thing wasn't right away. I remember that one. I don't remember the rest, but at least 8 days away. Let's move on to, unless you have anything else with Professor X in the chase, because... All right, yeah, I did exactly opposite of you. I went for the Odin Diamonds because I was like, I'm not even gonna get this. I'm not even close to this. So I went for the Odin Diamonds.
I mean, I don't know who you're playing up against, but I am getting just slaughtered in Cosmic Crucible by Professor X players right now. I don't
have any. Well, yeah, I don't know if you know, but I didn't really play last season. I went 0-3 many weeks, so I'm down to like Diamond 1. So I got some pretty easy matchups with Crucible this season.
Well, let me put it to you this way: you said there's 1,500 Professor X in the game. I mean, I was playing in Crucible in the 100 range, 200 range, now 300 range, 400 range. Well, if 1,500 people have Professor X, it's reasonable to conclude that I'm going to get dropped. Maybe that far down.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, I'm playing it for the milestones now. There's some good milestones, so that kind of forced to play it. Let's move on to this. Danger Room. Oh my goodness, this was so fun for me. I know you mentioned some of the issues with it. Let's go back to some of the, actually, I don't know what you want to start with. You want to start with some of the issues you had, or some of the experiences you had in a positive way? Where do you want to start?
Well, I feel like this was a beta run. I feel like they made it so that pretty much anybody that has been playing the game for, let's say, more than 6 months. I know people that were able to get all the milestones even on like week-old accounts. I mean, you could do it. Yeah. But the way that it was set up is different than the way it's going to work long term. So, but most people could just beat difficulty 5 twice with an elite node and then get all the milestones and be done. But that's not the way the event was designed to work. And so they're going to change it. There were some frustrations where, you would be on the first or the second node and you get wiped out. But let's say that Sinister 6 team, which was beyond annoying. And I know they redid the team comps to make the super, super annoying team comps. Well, they put out messaging on this. I don't know if you want to read that. That was from like 2 weeks ago, but there was like a Sinister 6 and Illuminati. I got that on like node 3 on one of my runs. Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, that was the hardest node. It was harder than the boss. It was harder than everything. I'm like,
yeah, you're done.
This is my 3rd node. What the heck?
Yeah, you're done.
So as far as the milestones, I think they're pretty easy to grind for. I know there's some confusion about the scores and everything like that. I'll get to their frequently asked questions in a little bit, but as far as just the fun factor, did you just play this like after you got all the rewards? I didn't really care about this, but I kept playing Danger Room for a few times. When I was switching between games, when I had some time in between, I was like, oh, got about 15 minutes here. Let's see if I can get a Danger Room run in. I was just playing this just because I thought it was fun. Did you play this at all for fun, or was it just for the milestones or maybe the ranking rewards? I know you don't care about cosmetics. You're not going to play for cosmetics, but
no.
Did you play it for anything else? Any other rewards, or just did you start playing this for fun?
In every game I've played, I very much like the idea of incremental progress and making your team stronger for the next run. So like if I loaded into this and it was difficulty 7 and I could cruise through it 60% of the time and get to the end 60% of the time, then I add a bonus and then it moves up to 80% of the time, because you just start stacking those mods, right? Then it's like, okay, I'm winning like 80-90% of the time. Let's go up to difficulty 8, blah blah blah. Do that until I do difficulty 9, and then get all the finally if you get to that 300 point raid bonus, you could probably clear it every single time with Vigilante, right?
Yeah. That you get those raid bonuses and if you're lucky, cards. Whew.
Yeah, I just that would have been a good experience for sure. I'm not sure what there was to learn this time around because you didn't need to do that. I feel like the core idea of this type of game mode was absent.
Yeah, I had a different experience. I was on difficulty 7. I thought, some of the runs were really easy, some were really challenging, and some were like impossible, because I made some wrong choices or I got some bad cards or things like that. And I enjoyed that. And I kept doing runs like, oh, let me get a good one.
But
this one screwed up. Let me try again. And
but
I wanted to get that perfect run, even if I didn't, it didn't mean anything. I just still wanted to chase that perfect run.
But you get that you clear an elite node and you get that modifier, right? With the gold tokens, right? And then the next run's easier. You just start stacking them on. And then
300 was a big one to get those raid bonuses. And then everything else is fun after that.
But if I was struggling in 7, I would have dropped down to 6. If I was struggling in 6, I would drop down to 5. But you got to start off at the difficulty that allows you to get the most amount of gold tokens per run, so that you can build them up and then go to the next level and then the next level. And then eventually you can beat 10. That is the idea. I love this idea. I just feel like we were kind of given, here's a beta of the version. We're going to need to tweak it. They had to change the difficulty on some of the nodes, on the early nodes. We wanted to make it super easy so everybody can get the milestones. The leaderboards was purely cosmetic because, I mean, it's a big risk for them to introduce something with leaderboards. If it's not working correctly, those leaderboards matter, and it's just cosmetic. So what does it matter? And they're not even really flashy. I mean, it doesn't look like anything at all, actually.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't care about this at all. I just like playing it. I wanted to get that perfect run because I wanted to get that perfect run for no other reason. No milestones, no cosmetic. I wanted to get it for me.
No, did you do a perfect run on 10?
Not on 10, but I had some really good stuff on 8 and things like that. And I didn't get a good run on 10. I didn't have enough time.
Well, the next time that you play this, you're not going to get all the milestones unless you do a perfect run on 10.
Maybe. Well, I mean, let's go check a look at this, and then we'll talk about what you would change. So, the scoring method didn't change mid-event, but a lot of people, because this was again not communicated very well, it works the way you need to complete elite missions, or your score's not gonna count. That's gonna change the next run, so that was a little confusing. So how will the scoring work in the future? Plan for future instance danger room is that your highest score, whether or not you do an elite mission or not, will count, and it's not gonna be additive. I did like that it was additive. I don't know. We'll see how this change works. The danger is meant to be fun, replayable mode, skill.
No, back up. So what that means is you will not get all the milestones unless you finish 10.
I don't believe that. I think you could, they're not going to make the most challenging. I'm thinking the top run, maybe difficulty 7 or something like that. 6 maybe.
The way it was now is that it was 100,000, right? And you could only get, the only way to get 100,000 points was to finish difficulty 10.
I didn't look at that part. Okay. So I guess you gotta. So I guess you're gonna have to grind it a lot more. Get a lot more yellow tokens. Okay.
Get more points. Difficulty 8 is easy. Difficulty 9 is easy. Okay, now we're moving on to 10.
Gotcha. I didn't even. You know what? This has been like this for so long. I don't even know what the points were and where all that stuff was. So I was just looking at this, but if you need difficulty 10 for all the milestones, that makes sense. I guess you're gonna have to grind for some, but.
Dorky did it with a 3-day-old account.
Did a 10 or got all the milestones? Okay.
Yes. No, did a difficulty 10 run. And you can build up enough tokens over time. So the difference is going to be this. A smart player is going to finish it faster. A Kraken player is going to finish it faster. But any player is going to be able to finish it if they play enough. It's just going to be super grindy. Because if you can farm the gold tickets, the gold tokens, early, eventually you're going to get all the bonuses and all the modifiers so that you should be able to run a difficulty 10.
I think this is how it was supposed to be designed. I don't think it was supposed to be cumulative, but it ended up being like that, and they just left it like that. But it's not going to work like that in the future. Does the danger room have a preloaded turn meter? They said it doesn't. I do think that's true. There are a lot of characters that have a lot of turn meter, like that Sinister Six or Illuminati, but there's this one card, speeding ticket or something like that. And when they don't get any speed bonuses, there's nothing. They got nothing after that. Skrull doesn't get his bonuses. All those other characters don't get anything. So I would agree with that. Rental tokens. This is a big change. In the future runs,
this is actually kind of interesting.
Rental will now be, you could have it reset with every run. I thought it was supposed to be 5 a day because that's what I think it was in the blog post. I wasn't paying attention. I guess it's not 5 a day though.
So what I said would never be true when this goes away. Like what Dorky did with like a 3-day-old account, because he can do the rental tokens.
He wasn't using his
over again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be impossible once this goes into effect.
Well, they want you to buy the characters. They want you to buy the characters.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do it, and you're not going to be able to use the rental token. So what I said earlier about like it just won't work that way. You're going to have the characters unlocked in some sort of usable method. I don't know if 3 stars is going to be fine, but the thing is that me having a 3-star character versus someone having like a 3 diamond character, they're going to get through a lot faster with less gold tokens. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it'll happen quickly versus somebody that has characters unlocked, barely unlocked, at low stars. They're going to need more gold tokens and more farming to get through that difficulty 10.
And I guess that's kind of the reward the devs are giving to players that have been playing for a while. It's you have a bigger roster, you get easier content. Oh, you haven't been playing as long. You can still do all this. It's still free, but it's going to be more challenging content. This didn't change. Still plan to run it about it. More grindy. Yeah, you got to do more grinding because you're a newer player. Danger Room still running about once a month. Each run of the Danger Room will feature new teams as well as some standalone characters will fit in the theme of the Danger Room. And more missions. First run, they had a limited pool of potential missions. I remember I've seen the same mission like a few times in a row. Sometimes in Danger Room. They're going to add more missions over time to each to make each run of the Danger Room more unique. I don't know. I like a lot of this. I like the gameplay of it. The structure, I guess, is questionable, especially if you want to include everybody getting all the rewards. But I like it. I can't wait until it comes back. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next 2 weeks when I'm bored. There's no like random gameplay.
Right.
All right. But those some good bonuses that everybody got. If you did manage to do some of the Danger Room, you were eligible for this global milestones. Pretty much unlock Victoria Hand for free. A bunch of these. What is this? Intel. What do you think of these Danger Room milestones?
The big issue I had with these Danger Room milestones is that there was no red dot, and you didn't know if they were there or not until you clicked in it. So I do have a brand new. Yeah, there was no red dot. And so like, I'm going to guess there was a large segment of the community that never clicked on it. And then there would be a free Victoria Hand. Now I do have a, I don't know, 3-4 day old account. I started a couple new accounts, and other people that started accounts at the same time as me have told me that they were able to get lucky on, because you have to complete a complete run. All the points are on the boss. So like difficulty 1, you're only going to be getting like 100 points per node or whatever, but it's 10,000 points on difficulty 1 in general, a little bit more than that, but around 10,000 points. Difficulty 2, so on. Difficulty 10, 100,000 points, but you have to finish it. You have to finish it once, and so
and had to do an elite mission.
Yeah, well,
you did have to do an elite mission, or none of your score would have counted. And there was some people like, hey, I'm getting so low scores. What the heck?
Well,
I saw some things like, hey, they reverted the scoring back in the middle of this event. What's going on? And some of that's kind of the elite missions.
I think that the additive function was based off of elite missions. I'm not sure if the first one you had to do an elite or not. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So subsequent may have been just subsequent runs.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I do like multiversal Danger Room and these global milestones. The next one is starting tomorrow, though. This one is going to be based on Cosmic Crucible. It seems like they're really trying to promote this Cosmic Crucible on the weekends to get more engagement in a bit. Why not just move it back to the week? It seems like there's a lot of engagement during the week.
I don't know what they're doing. I mean, I complained about this and Cosmic Crucible on the weekend. And, here's the thing. I mean, let's use our brains here.
There's some people that like it better.
That's exactly right. I mean, so like I have my own experience and I don't like it on the weekends. I mean, I'm guessing that there's a certain number of players that are available on the weekend, a certain number of players during the week. And I think the best representation of that is Twitch, right? The number of players that are available to play the game and watch Twitch during the weekdays is significantly higher than the weekends, like drastically higher. So I don't know. They got to do whatever they got to do, but for me, it doesn't make any sense.
Gotcha. I do like these global milestones. It seems like it's just Intel. Do you think when this comes tomorrow, it's just be more Intel, or there'll be some surprises?
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. I guess we'll see. We'll see what comes tomorrow. All right, Accursed team. Now, you got to play with a full Accursed team in the Cosmic Crucible tournament last week. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this team inside of Crucible?
They're great. Yeah, take out Mordo. You have all kinds of options. Put Mephisto. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with this team. It's a good team.
They were very strong on defense. They were very strong on offense. Yep. What are you leaning towards when you get the full team in your main account?
Say that one more time. You cut out.
So they were very good on offense, in my experience. They were very good on defense. They took out whatever I faced on offense, and they made a few teams struggle on defense. So where are you going to place them when you get them fully unlocked on your main account?
I have no idea. It's going to change from week to week. I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Okay. I think for me personally, the way I play, I'm going to keep them on offense unless there's some crazy thoughts. What do you see as their value just from looking at their kits? Outside of Cosmic Crucible, are they going to have any value in War? I know they're not going to be in Arena and the raids, but War and Crucible, or maybe something in Dark Dimension. Obviously, with a new team, they're going to be involved in some kind of Pocket Dimension or some kind of Flash event. But War, anywhere outside of Crucible for this team?
Okay, so the one thing I'll talk to is the Helverine character has some exposed mechanics that might be useful. He has a way of passively applying exposed, which is interesting, though it does strip away multiple copies of exposed, and I don't know that that's desirable necessarily, but it does have an exposed mechanic. Now, I'll say this, I tested the 5-piece team before they added the Juggernaut taunt, so I tested it in War, and I have to say, hands down, this is the worst team I've ever tested on the test servers. Worst team I've ever tested. And that's straight up, it was not good.
All right, and what you're referring to was updating Juggernaut passive ability on the Juggernaut. Give him taunt when he spawns with 3 or more Accursed allies. We're going to have a small increase to all of the Accursed health values. So you haven't changed this. Do you think just from what you know about the game, do you think that is going to help these guys in War significantly, or they're still going to be trash in War?
Why they're good in Crucible is all the passives, and they're all tied to the Crucible passives. I mean, all the good stuff. The team is slow, and the pre-taunt on Juggernaut could possibly help, but and the pre-taunt, I just don't know. I haven't tested them, but they just felt really horrible in War. Right. Like I couldn't beat Illuminati, I couldn't beat Starjammers, I couldn't beat Alpha Flight. Nothing. Annihilators was like hit and miss. It was not good. So I don't know. Right. I feel like it's a Crucible team, and that's fine. And it's kind of set up to be 4-piece, like, the 3 new characters, a Juggernaut, and then sub in somebody else, or use Mordo. I suppose you can use a Mordo, but I think people are going to be taking out Mordo and putting somebody else. Gotcha. So like then it puts the situation as why do I even need to buy a Helverine? Looks like you didn't. I'm not buying Helverine. What do I need him for?
No, I bought Odin Diamonds. I'm not buying their Curse team. I have a budget, and I've already spent it on Odin Diamonds. So I'm done.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are going to look at it that way.
Any Dark Dimension value and any Professor X value, because it's different. It's a little different question. You could ship away a Dark Dimension. You cannot ship away a Professor X. So do any of these Accursed characters have any value with that?
I haven't looked into that.
Okay. All right. Let me know in the comments if you have, and you have a thought on that either way. But we have some new showcases that happened with this Accursed team. They talked about this Team Tower mode. So when you first saw this blog post and heard about Team Tower, how excited were you? And then when you actually read the blog post, find out what Team Tower was, how disappointed were you?
I actually have not seen this. This is the first time I've seen this. I didn't see this.
All right. So this is the last week's blog, and you're going to have a token to start these challenges. So that's why we have these tokens here. Why did it go there? Anyway, we were supposed to have these tokens that, I don't know why it's going there. Anyway, these events are weird. I don't know why they're structured like that, but we have some token. Oh, here it is. The Cursed Challenge. We got these tokens. We're getting about, it seems like 15 a day. It did refresh to 15, but I don't have any right now, so I'm not sure how that's refreshing. And then what they say is after the full team is announced, they're going to have a new Team Tower, which does have some star requirements for these characters. So it's kind of like an extension of the team showcase where you have to buy these characters. What do you think of that? Because I think this sounds pretty fun, but you need a full team of the Accursed to enter it.
Yeah, I have no thoughts on this whatsoever until I play it. I don't know. Have to see.
Okay.
Right?
Next thing, we have 2 wars per week instead of 3. I love that. My alliance is a very war casual alliance, but I know you are really into war. Is this helpful for you, giving you more time back? Because I know you spend a lot of time playing war, or do you actually enjoy all that time in war and the attacks?
Yeah,
and everything like that?
the thing about this war would line up to me on a Saturday morning or a Friday night, which I don't particularly care to play on. So I'm okay with this being gone.
Yeah, they put Crucible on the weekends, take something else out the weekends is how I feel. Free claim Fridays, we have some, not a free claim, the Twitch drops is what I'm talking about. Mortal shards, Juggernaut shards, I think it's a nice catch up for that. We're also getting some Intel gold. What are your thoughts on these Twitch drops? We've had it for maybe, 2 months or so? What are your thoughts on these overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's bonus stuff. I mean, 200 intel, for veteran, let's say a veteran player, 2 million gold and is not that valuable now that you can convert, 1 million shop credits into 3 million gold. Intel credits always has value for sure.
Yeah. Let's move on here to the Harbinger month 2. It looks like this one is very similar, but we got the meta items back. Wreath Claws for Harbinger week 5, Dormammu in the Harbinger week 6, Boots of Dormammu in week 7, and the Demicon in week 8. How are you liking this? We've had these command centers for all of last month and this month now. Do you enjoy these still? I know the last time we talked, both of us were enjoying it. It's simple. Now they're kind of extending some of these milestones. Still enjoying it, or not as much now that we have more stuff added to this?
Well, it's not whether or not this is good or bad. If we look at the event center that you were looking at earlier when you're trying to figure out what the cursed thing was doing, is how garbage that is. I think that's the value to the command center, is how horrible the event section is.
Yeah. Well, what I did like, and I was hoping to solve this major problem, right? Milestones, events, and campaigns all into one. That was I was hoping it to be. It's not what it is, but it does make it easy to look for some of these milestones. I know what I got to do on a daily basis and a weekly basis. So I think it's a positive change, but I do want them to keep going further, remove more stuff from the events, more stuff from the milestones. And I guess the next thing that happened, we got some farmable characters. Where that Liberty, they're not available. Peggy is in the War store for shop credits. Falcon Joaquin in the Arena store. And Patriot replaced Cahora in Miss Marvel Classic as the featured character in Spotlight Raid. Orb and Patriot got him bright to the stars. I'm farming Falcon Joaquin now in the Arena store, and Peggy Carter is already unlocked. Do you already have your Liberty unlocked?
Yeah, I got them up and running. Yeah.
All of them?
Well, I mean, there was so much extra, if you needed gold, you flushed some of your Blitz credits, right? Because because you can use the shop credits. Like I said, 1 million shop credits converts to 3 million gold. And so that led to a lot of extra Ultimus food. And I was able to get these guys done.
Wait a minute. Are you talking from Blitz orbs? You're using 3 million or a million Blitz shop credits to get 3 million gold from your Blitz orbs.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you take 1 million shop credits and convert that into Blitz orbs, you net a little more than 3 million gold. And so I needed some gold. It gave me tons of Ultimus food, and I was able to open Blitz orbs, and I was able to finish this team a little bit earlier than this coming in. Gotcha.
Yes. Good. If you don't have them all built up like I don't, this is great. So working on Falcon Joaquin, but that's another tip. I didn't know about that. So use that. Open your Blitz orbs. Well, that is about it. Any other final thoughts? I know you want to get out of here, eat something, but any other final thoughts? Food is good.
Let's eat food.
All right, get something to eat, Brother Mobile. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you guys enjoy playing Marvel Strike Force. Check out the links down below. Check out some of the other channels. Check out everything else. Are you ready for a fist bump?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's set us on our week, Brother Mobile. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin, MobileGamer. Have a great week, guys.